Hello and welcome to Keep Hope Alive podcast. Today we got Miss Olga with us, and she's going to laugh at me because I don't know how to say what she does, but I'm going to try it so you can correct me. She is a shamanic. I'm going to say it wrong. I said it wrong. Shamanic practitioner,
Shamanic.
healing practitioner. Shamanic. Okay.
Mhm.
I will get it. But she is amazing. And she's going to lead us into this world story. And it's about us. And it's about, oh my gosh, how do I explain this? Because you were so good at this. She did mine, guys, and she's just great. But it's like having a reading, but it's a much deeper spiritual reading. That sounds. That sounds about right what you did for
Yes.
me.
Yes.
Yes. So, but before we get started, I am going to ask you one quick question. Out of the past 15 years, how many weddings have you been to?
I'd say about 15, maybe. Yeah, maybe around 15, I guess. Yeah.
15. That's really cool. So, usually when you go to a wedding and you are the guest, you have to sign something. What is that one thing they're signing? And I want to ask you this question because you're in a different country, I guess. Where are you from?
I am from Russia, but I grew up in Thailand since I was 9 years old, up to like 30. And then I moved to Turkey because I got married to a Turkish man. So actually, all the weddings I've ever been to are Turkish traditional weddings. Oh, and hi, Nadine. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me, by the way.
Oh,
Thank you
yes,
so much.
definitely.
Mhm.
I'm just so excited to have you on. I feel a little bit more bubbly today. I think I had like 4 cups of coffee, so please
It's okay.
excuse me on this podcast. I'm running on pure caffeine.
I'm catching
But
it. I'm catching it.
yes, I
I'm
know,
getting like
right?
that too. Yeah, it's contagious.
It is very contagious, which is makes it great podcast, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So, okay. So what that one thing you would sign to let the bride and groom know you were there. What is that called?
I actually, in Turkish weddings, I've never seen something to sign.
Okay, that's cool. I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you because I don't know Turkish traditions for weddings. I should, but yeah. So it's like
Y-
usually you'll see a guest book or they call it a register or people do picture frames. I've also seen
Yes,
Jenga.
picture frames, definitely that they do.
Yes.
They also
Yes.
give out little magnets with, or like a little gift with their names and things like
Hmm.
that. Sometimes they
Hmm.
give henna at the end of the wedding. That comes at the end of the wedding, a little bag with henna so you can put it on
Oh,
yourself
really?
or your loved
Okay.
ones at home. Um, yeah, one time I saw actually a book for signing, and I remember my husband and I just wrote something funny because
That's the
they're
best
our
way.
friends. So we just wrote something funny.
Now, I'm
I don't
glad you
remember what.
said that because, like, one of our sponsors, they're called Life on Record. So, what they do is they have a vintage rotary phone. So, instead of having the picture frame or the gift box or Jenga, I love the henna idea. That is awesome at the end. But that takes time to do, right?
Well, that's the point. Actually, like towards the end of the Turkish wedding, they have a henna, and I don't. They do a henna thing in, by the at the end of it when they're already married. The man sits in the middle of the stage, and the woman dances around him, and all the women get together actually and dance around them. Only
Oh, that is
women.
so cool.
Don't
Only
ask
the
me
women
why. I don't
dance
really
around
understand.
the man. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and he's sitting on the couch, she's dancing, and they're kind of, I think it's a kind of play of how married life is gonna look like. And she, I don't know, last time I saw it, she was kind of bossy to him, but at the end, she puts henna, I think, oh no, there was an older woman that came and put henna on her and him on their, I think on their face. I Yeah, I was too scared of the whole. I was like too excited about the whole only women dancing around them thing, but I don't
Mhm.
understand everything. But it's like a continuation. They also give it to you, so you can put it on yourself right there, like on your fingers mostly, and on your
Oh,
feet.
wow.
Or you can do it for your loved ones at home. Like if you have a woman at home, you can put it on her fingers. And
See, that's, what I wanna try. I wanna do that. I'm too chicken to even do a tattoo, and I'm like, if I ever did a tattoo, what would it be? Well, hope, but I like sea turtles too, so and dragonflies. So I don't know how to do that, and the infinite I have so many different ideas, but I'm just scared of a little needle poking me 100 times. So, but henna seems pretty fun, easy,
you can
not
have a new
painful
henna tattoo every week and
every
wash it
week.
off.
That's awesome. I would love to be able to wash it off. No offense to people who have can't talk tutus, tattoos, and we're live. Tutus, you got tutus on your body. So, but definitely that is a great concept. So, like with the rotary dial phone that they offer, this is cool. We're capturing the voice of people saying, "Oh, congratulations on your wedding. You guys are a great couple." Or maybe you get a groomsman that picks up the phone and is like, "Dude, it's about time you finally got married." So I call it the gift of voice that you can always go back and listen to. And what they do and let me say this right next to it, they have a QR code that you can scan if you don't want to wait in the line. So you can use your personal cell phone and capture that and leave the message when you're ready. So when they collect all of these, they will either put it on a 12-inch vinyl record or they will put it on a keepsake speaker, which I call the little boom box. So, like, if it's a 1 year anniversary and you're sitting back, well, you're supposed to eat the cake. I hope people are still eating cake these days after a year, but you can plug in the speaker or listen to the record of all your friends and family. Not only weddings, this is good for any event that you may have. Their plans do start at $99 and you get the telephone number, not the phone, but you get it for a year. But to find out more information about them, go to www.lifeonrecord.com. All right. So, my first question for you, I love your name. Who is Olga?
Who's Olga? Yeah. So my name is Olga Aydınoğlu, and I'm a shamanic healing practitioner now. I wasn't always, obviously. Um, yeah, I used to have many jobs and many. It seems like I lived many lives, but all of them kind of thankfully led me to this life of self-awareness and healing and transformation. So I would say, yeah, I'm Olga Aydınoğlu. I'm a shamanic healing practitioner, and my brand that I call myself is Expansionscapes. It's all about expansion, just like landscapes or something, seascapes. Well, expansionscapes, like in the soul world. Yeah, I am also an author, and I'm a shamanic healing artist where I paint, I kind of do psychic photographs of what I see in the non-physical, and I like to bring it in so people can actually see what I see. So
What?
kind of like,
Oh, that is so cool as a photographer.
yeah.
Oh, wow. You
No, but
guys,
no,
wait till you
with
guys
paint
see
with a
this. Hold on.
paintbrush, obviously,
I'm gonna
kind of
show
like this.
TikTok world to you. Okay. So look at that painting. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's called the
Can you
she.
guys see it? Am I even holding it right? There we go. Wow, that is gorgeous. So,
That
and you have another one there too.
yeah,
Wow.
or
Oh,
like
that's
things.
actually kind of scary.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of
I don't
shadow
know
work
about
going
that one.
on.
But yeah, definitely. So I'm hoping you guys on TikTok world can hear this. This is amazing. But that's awesome as a photographer. Like for me, I capture those moments in time in a person's life that have so special meaning, but you're seeing the spiritual side of the meaning and just being able to put that on paper. It's painting. Is it? It's not water. Is it oil
It's
or?
water. I mostly use watercolors, but sometimes I use pastels. Like this one is a watercolor. I
You
call this
guys
one
gotta see the
healing.
pastel one. Do you guys see that? I hope you
No,
can. I am
no,
like a
this one's
bad
watercolor.
video person. Okay. That is so cool. I'm sorry, guys, if you didn't see it. I will put this on my Facebook also. So, wow, that is super
This
cool.
one's my book
So,
cover. That's why it's just always there.
see, you got a book. That's great. And, with your book, we're going to put it onto the website so people can also buy your book, which is really cool. So that you guys can watch the podcast, buy the book, and we can also sign up for a session, I guess, too. But we'll get into that in a couple minutes. So, walking still like in your world, I want to know at what age did you notice that you had a gift? I think, you mentioned in your profile something about normal. And I was like, wow, okay, that makes sense because we all have like some kind of spiritual gift and we can learn it later in life or we can learn it really early in life. And how did you know and when did yours get started?
Well, the psychic perception, my first experience was when I was 2 years old in my baby bed, actually. And I kind of like woke up and I was shown one of my past lives. It was kind of like I woke up from almost like what feels like a dream of this reality.
Hmm.
And I kind of like woke up and I woke up in there when I was dying as actually as a male warrior on the field, on the battlefield. It feels like something like medieval times. So I was I was having a really hard time because um yeah, I was full of regret and I did not want to die. And I was fighting with all of my life and power and might not to die.
Hmm.
Because I had a wife and a son in the city, or well, today we wouldn't call it a city, maybe, but back then it was a city. And
Hmm.
yeah, I was full of regret that I was dying because I thought that I was invincible. And I was really kind of arrogant and cocky. I was like, I am a warrior, nobody's gonna hurt me because, and I was convinced that no one can kill me because I was like, well, I'm still alive. So, and yeah, I never and I was full of regret because I knew that they wouldn't be taken care of because the way to take care of a person back then was at least like this what came from my understanding of life at that time was to have a farm and have the food growing. You grow the food and you have a big family, and even if you die, someone's gonna take care of your family for you.
Hmm.
But if you're a warrior, and I just had a wife and one son, and I thought, why would you ever have farm? Because someone like me is always going to come and get it from you, that because I was fighting for like lords and I didn't really care which lord because I just was getting paid a lot of money. And I thought, I don't know, why would you want to be a farmer? Because someone like me will come and destroy your land for money. So I don't, and then I really didn't want to die and I was full of regret. I was like, no, 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 I'm going to change my life. I want to make a farm. I'm going to protect my farm. I don't want to, I don't want, I don't want to die. And at that time, it was like voices of someone I trusted. Now I know they were my guides, but I was given kind of like a deal that if I remember who I am, I will stay there and I will not die, and I will die as Olga, and I will continue that life anew, like with a second chance, like have a near death experience or something.
Yeah.
Um, and I was trying to remember the someone who is not me and who is not the warrior, but the me who is the real me, like my soul. Who was I? So that if I could remember that, I could jump into kind of like that perception of me from that level, and I could make decisions like that. Like now I'm saying it like this, but when I was a kid, that was hidden from me. Just I knew that I could, it was on the tip of my tongue. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? It was like right there. And I was so emotionally charged, and I was just trying so hard. And I couldn't, I remember I fell asleep crying, trying to remember who I am. And then I finally agreed that, well, I can't remember who I am. So I'm going to agree to live this life as Olga. And I understood that, at the same time, there were my parents in the kitchen, like cooking and arguing and play fighting, like having a fun time. And I understood that those people are going to be my parents for this lifetime, and I'm going to live in this house. I'm going to grow up as this girl, Olga, and that this was going to help me to resolve that lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally, reluctantly agreed to it. And then ever since I was a kid, I kind of was always frustrated, always trying to answer, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Because I never forgot that experience. That was more real than this life experience. So
Mm-hmm.
my question was always, who am I? And then I would stare at the mirror a lot of times, and I'd be touching my face and my body. I'd be like, I knew I agreed to be this person, and I have been other people before, but who am I in, like, inside this body? Like, who am I who decides to be Olga? And it's just like, so throughout my life, I was like touching myself in the mirror, my face, like,
Yes.
who am I?
Who am I? I
And
think we
yeah.
still do that to this day. Who am I? But touching on near death experience, and I know people have had it, I have grown up with epilepsy and stuff, but yours was in a sense that it came at a young, young age, but finding out who you are and what to do in your life, that is actually pretty cool. So, um, I guess, when you found out at age 2, it's not like we had internet back then and said, "Okay, let's get started." Who was like the one person that you tried this on, like helped out?
Actually, I never shared this with anyone for a long time, because I kind of knew that this was kind of like from behind the veil, and it's like you're not supposed to talk to, I don't know. I was just sure that nobody would understand me. And I think I told my mom just quite recently, like 2 years ago, and I'm 40, I'm 39 now. Okay. So, and yeah, there were other experiences. I've had like on and off experiences as a kid. And then I had a near death experience at 16. And then the experiences became bigger and larger and like way more,
Mhm.
whoa, big. And then yeah, when I was a teenager, I had like pretty big experiences where my guides were teaching me about the Akashic Records, which at that time I also still didn't really understand that they were my guides and I was having psychic experiences. I didn't know what to call that. I thought I was just going to a more real reality that was my words, that these were my words to describe it. And I
Yeah.
didn't know the words Akashic Records either, so I didn't have any words for anything. Um, and I remember I told my parents once as a teenager that I saw this thing. I told them it was a dream, but I knew it wasn't a dream. It was like out of this realm. And they told me, you have a very big imagination and you should write books. So and you
Yeah.
and yeah, I actually did start to write books thanks to that. But I also told my brother, I think around age 25 or something, first time.
Mhm.
And he's 10 years older than me. And we were selling injection molding machines to factories. Like we had a regular job like that, right?
Mhm.
Um, and then he told me, never tell anyone the story because they will think you're crazy. And and also our clients might maybe never tell our clients this stuff because they will not work with you anymore. Like they will think you're crazy and not reliable. Yeah. And then, of course, he didn't listen. I told one of my clients, and he's like, "Whoa, cool." So,
Yeah, you see, when they're outside of the box, they'll be like, "That is actually really cool, but shh, don't tell anybody here because we need the business." That's kind of wrong.
yeah,
Like, I'm sorry. I have this best gift ability that I can help you with the product, and you could put that energy into selling whatever product or service that you were in too. So, and but that's, going back, I don't it's weird for people to say, "Don't tell people." I hate that line. Like, you don't wanna come across so wrong in life. Ugh, I don't know. Be yourself. I'm glad you're
yeah.
talking about it. Now, you said you're writing it in books, when your mom said you had a big imagination, and it's like, I know with my parents, if I ever told them something, like one of my seizures at age 9, I think it was, they said, "Hey, you were on the floor, you were sick, we got you in the car, and we got you to the doctor, and you were yelling at the doctor." And I'm like, "But I was walking up white stairs. How did I do all that?" Like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, I'm just hearing, "I'm not ready for you," and free falling backwards, and I hit my body, and I like, "Whoa." That was so young, but I felt like when I told my parents that and the doctor, she just had a seizure. I want if I could go back in time, be like, "No, I was out of my body and I was, like, going to heaven. This is a real thing, guys," you know? So, but definitely, how many
And they could
books.
say something like, "Oh, you maybe you had hallucinations," or I don't know, writing it up to something explainable and physical. Yeah.
It's with anything we have in life. I feel like I hate to say this, and I'm on TikTok right now too live, but I'm gonna say it. It's like going to the doctors and going, "Oh, I hear your symptoms. Okay, I'll be right back." And they just go into the other room. "Hey, Alexa, let's see what pill we can give her today to make her feel better." I remember I questioned one of my doctors and said, "What's the vitamin that equals to this medication?" And he answered it truthfully. He said, "Magnesium." I go, "See, that wasn't too hard." I mean, hey, if we had
Mhm.
more honesty in the world, like with stuff like that, and I think it's great because, I don't know, you do the healing part, so you can pick up on people's journeys that way too, correct?
Um, yes, but it came honestly, like it came only I could use this like I don't want to call it a gift, but ability, I'd say ability, okay? I don't want to say a gift because I think everyone has it. And like I don't know, I assume like, oh, a gift is something that someone hands you unexpectedly and you didn't have anything to do with it. But it's like I and no, it's not like that. We create these experiences too. So and we all can do it. Anyway, but I could make sense of it only after actually I met my shamanism teacher at 32, was it? I'm really bad with
Mhm.
numbers like that, remembering when something happened. But yeah, I remember like I quit my day job as a teacher actually, and I got married and moved. It was like very miraculous for me, and also healing chronic pain, like chronic migraine,
Mhm.
have which I realized that it was because I was living not my life. I was living somebody else's life. It wasn't my life, and I wasn't listening to myself at all. And finally I quit my job and I found shamanism, and it was the COVID times, so it was like
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, it's horrible that it was COVID, but it was perfect in a sense that we were all locked up in the house and I could meditate for basically 3 years. I know the COVID wasn't 3 years, but I meditated and I learned how to use this ability,
Yeah.
and bring it into consciousness with my teacher and other students, and practice with them. So after that, yeah, I could use this gift for actual like to help people with whatever they say. Like they say, oh, I have this problem. Okay, we can actually use the non-physical communication, psychic communication, whatever you want to call it, use that for your specific issue. So it becomes
Mm.
like more useful for now, today, and specific people and specific requests. Only thanks to actually that guidance. Because before the guidance, I was just like, whoa, I was just flying around. Whoa, I've seen this, I've seen this. That is so cool. That is so cool. And I would share sometimes with people, very rarely, and sometimes they would share the excitement, sometimes not. But only thanks to actual guidance, I could actually bring it into this physical world, I can say, like, and help out with the requests. So yeah,
That is so cool. That is so cool, and I wanna get into that and what you did for me, but just one second, I'm gonna jump in. We have another sponsor, Snap Bands. You've probably seen them all over Facebook. So mine, let's see if I can hold it up, kinda, there we go. It says
I
"Hope"
see.
on it, and the back of it, well, you see, I'm doing so good. I got my Pandora bracelet. It has a little snap band, almost like a rubber band thing, but you gently pull it. And it works like with cognitive thinking to your brain waves. It will help you with anxiety, depression, and I throw in PTSD in there too, because I'm sure I got medical PTSD. But they have all these mantra words. They got hope, peace, love, faith. And faith is brand new. If you were to go onto their website at snapbands.com in their Como code, yeah, whatever. I can't talk today. Well, anyways, it's KHA for Keep Hope Alive. I know, giggle. It's been a long day. I'm real. But having that code in there will get you the word faith. Now, they are made out of vegan leather, which is nice. They're very, very sturdy in water. I love taking a shower. I've been swimming with mine. I've had mine on for a year. And I notice I use it when I'm nervous and scared about something. And it's always at the hospital for me because I'm like, they're going to miss my vein. I just know it. And usually they do. And I have a big bruise for the outcome. But I'll always snap my band and say, I am praying and hoping that you can find my vein and no ultrasound machine is needed today. So once I had one guy try it at a hospital that I go to, and then it turned into 3 guys trying to find a vein, and then it freaking turned into a class with a machine. I was there, uh, they didn't even ask. They were like, "Ooh, look at on the machine. This is how you find our vein." And I'm sitting there, are we done yet?" Like, it's just a vein. But yeah, so I use mine for that reason. But I love it because I know they give back to the different organizations too with the purchase of the bands for depression and anxiety. To find out more information about them, it's at www.snapbands, and I'm going to spell that. It's SNAPPBANDZ.com. And you can find all the different colors, all the different mantra words. I am living proof this works. It's a wonderful product. So check them out. All right, Olga, let's get back to it because this is amazing. Now, what people don't know is on Keep Hope Alive podcast, my Facebook page, okay, with the numbers growing, I added the one you did of me. And I was kind of nervous to walk through that journey of the world knowing the story, but I'm glad I did it because people related to it. And then I started getting people going, but I want to talk to Olga. I want to. And so I was like, "Oh, okay, I need her as a sponsor for Keep Hope Alive too." So, but I definitely, it's just so creative what you do and everything that this is to me, is somebody who does. handwriting analysis. They're great. I even have a sponsor who does that. She's amazing. The gift that you're giving and what you did for me, it told me, I think you started out, I don't mind sharing it. I was in a room, I'm sharing my life, in a room with one tiny window. Was it tiny? But it had bars.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean jail to me, even though I probably feel like
it
I'm
felt
in
safe
jail.
actually. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
more
I was
like to
kind
keep you safe.
yeah, to keep me safe, okay. But going out and trying to break away from that into the world and seeing the way I was dressed and what animals were around me and what food was around me. You guys are just gonna have to listen to this because I don't wanna give it all away. You said something about peace to me. And I was like, "Ooh, pea pod." My son, I dressed him up as a pea pod. I think it was the first Halloween he had. And he'll go, "Why did you put me as a pea pod?" I go, "Because it's so cute." So, but definitely having that and the story and journey comes out to a better ending, which I was like really excited to hear because it's given me a lot of hope. But the one thing you did, you were so truthful in this, and you could tell you were getting messages through it. And I was like, this is the real deal. There is no making this stuff up because you said you were getting a message and it was 100% accurate. And I was like, what is going on? And I was like, I really need to sit down and do a full blown interview with you and share you to the world because I've never met somebody like you who's so accurate in what you're telling me. And I mean, like I said, it gives me hope. One day I will get to that castle. It feels like a castle that I'm headed to, but I just got to work my way to get there. So that was the real story, and hopefully finding love again. It's been so challenging, and if you guys listen to what she did for me, and wanted to we have to reach out to her and get one done. She's gonna give us all that details and stuff. It's so funny, we're live. Hi, guys, but I'm not wearing my glasses, to be honest with you guys. Hi, everybody, I acknowledge. I'm hoping they can hear you talking too because it's so important to me, but you can find it I know they can hear me. Go to www.keephopealivepodcast.com. This is gonna be up and running tonight too. And if you guys have questions right now for Olga, feel free to comment me. I'll put on my glasses and see if they have questions for you too. So, but definitely, now if somebody were to try to reach you, what is your website?
I would say the best way to reach me is go to my YouTube channel, Expansionscapes.
Okay.
It's Expansionscape with a space, Expansionscapes as two words, Expansionscapes. Or actually, you can type in Google Expansionscapes with a space, and I've tested myself out. I do come up. Um, and my YouTube channel has all the links. It has links to my website. It has a link to my book, Tales of the Spirit and the Divine. And it has links to my Etsy shop where people can buy my sessions. It has links to everything, like everything. I would say
Okay,
YouTube is my middle place, my YouTube channel.
that's
Yeah.
so the SD shop, that's cool because I haven't heard of people really doing that, and I just saw that on the website. I was like, "Oh, cool." And I know I'm gonna be purchasing another one for me, and I want my daughter to do this too. So I really wanna push her to come and get a session. So you'll be hearing from us soon. Um, so we got the
Thank
website,
you.
and I will have that posted too on Facebook and everything, so they'll have the information. I wanna jump into the books. You wrote books, and which we'll add those to the store. How many books, and what got you into I know it was your mom telling you to write, but the different titles, I guess I'm intrigued.
Well, right now I have one self-published book on Amazon, which comes in e-format, like, and it's an e-book. And this is the cover, which I made with watercolors. I love watercolors. Yeah, so Tales of the Spirit and the Divine to help you find the divine inside. It's book
This
one. It's a short book
Mhm,
with short stories and poems that are kind of partly channeled and partly mine, as I call it, based on my spiritual visions. And it's like little stories that are fiction, but they came from visions.
mhm,
And they are intended to help people get realizations of their own on various topics that those stories are about. But right now I'm almost finished with book two. I was actually inspired by Books of Blood by Clive Barker, if you ever heard of them,
no.
who writes horror, like weirdly enough, but this is like different. So yeah, I plan to make it like series of little books of short stories and poems. And I'm almost finished with my other book, which is my diving into the five elements, like from like with baby eyes, basically, but diving into them psychically and talking to
Yeah,
them with what I learned from shamanism, talking to them on a soul level and learning from them. And it includes actually little souls, like nature being souls like peace, the soul of
yeah.
peace or the soul
Mm,
of lentils. I actually had so it's like a journey, it's like a psychic journey to study the elements and talk to the elements, and they bring in different beings. And yeah, it's a journey of the five elements ending with the spirit element. I'm almost done with that one. So that one, I hope I'm actually going to publish with a publisher, not through Amazon.com by myself. But I don't mind doing that. I think it's okay.
yeah.
It's cool.
You know what would be
Yeah,
really cool? Do it in Audible too, and I want you to have a challenge of reading it yourself. Your voice is amazing. So just hearing your voice,
thank you.
I'd be purchasing that right away because I'm interested. I honestly know we have spirit guides, and I would love to talk to mine and be like, "Hey, I just want to meet you. Like, I know you're by me all the time and you help guide me, but it'd be awesome if we could have that one-on-one with our spirit guide." I'm just saying.
I actually do offer that. I offer healing sessions for healing slash practice sessions for people to develop and use their intuitive perception, psychic perception. So
Mhm.
I offer sessions to help you connect to your guides and help you connect to your soul and help you to have these kind of journeys, like this kind of experiences on a non-physical soul level. So it's like practice, but also with healing. And my approach is more like uncovering it. It's not
Yeah.
about I don't do it like, oh, here's the gift, I give it to you, right? No, you already have it. Or oh,
Yep.
let's activate this thing. No, you already have it. We're just going to heal away the layers that are preventing you from actually using them. Kind of like that. Yeah,
It's cool though.
yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, yeah, my friend told me everybody has a spiritual gift and it's going to take you to find it. And that was like 15 years ago. And I was like, why can't you just tell me? I was such a smart, but she goes, I can't. You got to figure it out. But over the years, I did find out, like, and I had to go through a long journey just to find out what my gift is. And now I use it for greater purpose and I love it. So we're all gifted. You are absolutely 100% right on that. So, um, do you have a podcast or have you thought about doing a podcast too?
I am, yes, I actually do want to, and it's gonna be called Expansionscapes. I am just like doing 55 things at the same time. That's why I'm kind of
I
slow,
understand.
because I have yeah, I do Akashic Records readings, right? I do commissioned artwork, like I call it shamanic healing artwork, which is what I found out I can do for people, which is like I talk to their soul and their spirit guides. And let's say a person says, "Oh, I'm interested in, seeing an image, like a healing image for XYZ, like for this topic, like I
Hmm.
want this, So I would get an image that would speak specifically to your eyes, to your heart, from your
Yeah.
soul, from your guides. So I would paint that and I would give it to you. And I would also have energy work done on that specific drawing or painting so that every time you look at it, it actually gives you healing work, in addition to the imagery. Um, yeah. So, and I also, yeah, man, I do a lot of things. I do a nodal, astrological nodal analysis, but with my own twist of
What?
actually,
Explain that. Wait, back up. Explain that. I don't even know what that is.
well, I created this thing, this service, right? There is such a thing as nodal analysis in astrology, which is like the south node and the north node of the moon, which kind of talks to you about your soul history of like where you're coming from and where you're going. And it's a kind of astrological kind of map or like a compass of your life.
Hmm.
Of course, you have your free will, you do whatever you want. It's just like this is information you can use should you want to.
Yeah.
And normally it's well, I learned it from my evolutionary astrology course. And then I was like, okay, but right, I'm Olga, right? I like to go diving psychically. So I added my twist to it where I actually like talk to the planets and talk to your guides and talk to your astrological kind of guides, and I ask for guidance specifically for you with those planet arrangements. And also I would get like a number of visions. Sometimes it's actual visions from your past lives, which would be important, or sometimes it's metaphorical visions of some concept that you have been going through before you became you in this lifetime, let's say. Uh, and then also visions and kind of stories to to kind of give you guidance on your way where you're going. So where do you come from, where you're going, but with an additional twist of actual psychic information specifically from your soul and from your guides. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I know. That is so amazing though. The guidance, when you talk about guidance to me, uh, they're coming to you. That's the great thing. And not everybody has this gift. So I want to know, like, if somebody is listening today who says, I really want to go through, what do you offer? Is it like a session that is an hour? What kind of things do you do for these sessions? I'm just going to put this on here because I can figure it out.
Well, like a regular shamanic healing session, I would be like, I ask a person to first tell me what they want to focus on.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, so not, yeah, or like what do they want to focus on? So I know what they want beforehand, and I track. Actually, I do a bunch of things before the session. Like I have my own forgiveness practice with the person and healing my mutual karma with the person. And I do a bunch of stuff to clean up the space kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and then I track together with your soul, with your team, that issue. And I don't know what the answer will be, obviously, because like they tell me the issue, the background, the what, why this is happening kind of thing and what can be done to help. So I don't normally share all of the things that I get because actually it's not really necessary if you just want to get to the healing. But some people like to listen to that, and that also brings up the healing as well. And also it makes them kind of it's kind of contagious. They want to start to do this by themselves, which I love. I love to kind of give that. So they go like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you've seen that? I want to see that too. I want to be able to dive into myself too." And I'm like, "Yes, yes, yes. We can all do this."
Oh
And
my
then
gosh, that's awesome though. I would
but
still use you though. I can't dive into me. I mean,
yeah, but with yeah, everybody has their own desires. Like somebody would like to just use someone to do it for them. Somebody would like to do it by themselves, and everybody has their own journey and path. And like obviously, you know, no judgment, and there's nothing wrong or right. It's your path. Like you
yeah.
choose what you want. You can't go wrong. Why? Because it's your life. You just
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, and then after I share that, I do a silent healing a time. There's like a time for the actual healing energy work, which I learned from my teachers. So it's very hard to explain what happens there, but it's like it's healing on this like soul world level healing where we have yeah, it's hard to explain, but also I don't want to create like illusions and delusions in saying that, but there are yeah, there are tools and also beings and souls who um I have been building a relationship with through my teachers who help with healing on this in a soul world level. So they are conscious beings and also the nature, you know, souls of peace, for example. We work with plants and animals, spirits of plants, spirits of animals, spirit of the ocean, spirit of the mountain. I mean, they're all conscious, and I have been building relationship with them. Um, thanks, also thanks to my teachers, and there are a lot of conscious benevolent beings who are yeah who I call in to help with the healing, and every time it's a different someone because you are different and because your issue is different and because
Yeah.
like different medicine would show up. Yeah, so then we would go into the healing part, which is basically silent,
Hmm.
but sometimes I end up telling what's happening. Like they would say, "Oh, we're working on this right now," and it's all guided by our guides and everything, and protected and guided. And so sometimes I would share, "Oh, I see them working on this. Oh, I see that they're mentioning, you know, this guidance or something if it would come through." And
Hmm.
yeah, and then I like to actually give bundles of 3 sessions at once because I like it when people start to notice some kind of changes, and it's not miracle work. It's not like, oh, I have this, you know, migraine. Can you heal it? No, you should go to a doctor, right? I'm not a doctor, but having said that, I healed my migraines by these methods and by changing my life, basically. So
Yeah.
but people don't come to me with I'm just saying like it's not miracle work of like bam, you know, you're
Yeah.
healed from something huge. No. Or bam, tomorrow you're married. No, but it's like peeling away the layers of
Yeah.
what is standing in between you and what you want. Like today we can clear away one layer, and even though it's just one layer, it can feel like a miracle actually,
Oh
because you may
yeah.
notice yourself, oh, today I could pick up the phone and call this person, and I didn't feel like scared, I didn't feel anxiety, or I didn't feel, but it's something simple like, oh, I could actually make a phone call or something like this, like if you couldn't before.
Yeah.
It's- yeah, so it's like layer work. That's why I like to give bundles of, you don't have to get 3 sessions on, you can buy one, but I like three because it just, the first session kind of opens up people's curiosity. It's like, oh, like, oh, I have this to work on too. Oh, I have this, or they start noticing changes. And I like to be there available for them
Hmm.
between sessions when they can type, hey, this happened, you know, and I
That's
can
what I
be
did to
there.
you. Yeah, it was, like, right after I heard everything from you, I was like, I wrote you the longest letter, and people who know me, I just don't do that. I get so many emails out of the day, and I'm just like, "Okay, no, I need to write her, like, longer than what I usually write," and be like, "Oh my gosh, you were so accurate." But it was kinda also, I told you stuff that were it related to me and what it was really about. So I opened up to you, and I when you came on for the podcast, I felt like I've known you forever and we could just have this conversation. I was just like, that was a great feeling to have and know. So, but definitely, my goodness. And the bundles, yes, perfect. So, okay. So, books, podcast,
I don't
sessions.
have a
Oh,
podcast right now, but
no,
I
I
am
know.
actually, I am going to have one. It's going to be called Expansionscapes for sure. And
You will have one.
I am working on udemy.com video healing session, like distance healing session, which is going to be a bunch of meditations a
Yeah.
person can do by themselves and re-listen to a thing with energy work and with explanation of what we're doing, why we're doing it.
Oh,
So people don't have to, if they don't have time for a live session, they can go and do this thing by themselves with energy work, with support. And I also have a group, Facebook group, which is for my clients and students. I just opened it actually. But I'm gonna share it once I share my first udemy.com video, so that people can share, like, oh, I experienced this, oh, I experienced that, oh, I've seen this, so they have a place they can share things, even if they can't share things every day, like maybe in their job they can't share
yeah.
sometimes with their families, with their colleagues, with their neighbors, with their friends. Sometimes you can't, like I couldn't, so
Mhm.
that's why I'm actually creating this space, because I know how alone I felt and lost when I couldn't share anything. And I was just fighting this inner war of,
Yeah.
I live in two worlds. One is this physical, real world. I'm doing the air quotes, and
Yes.
one is this behind the veils world. And I'm not, and I never speak about it. And it's like,
Which
what
one do
is
you like better?
happening?
I just
Yeah.
think it's kinda cool. I mean, I think it was back in the day before my grandfather left the world. He was talking about traveling, and I was like, "What is he talking about?" And I think he was talking about spiritual traveling. Well, not that he did it, but it was a topic, and I wish I could talk to him still and be like, "Granddad, tell me, what did you mean by this?" Because I guess people do have that availability to just go, "I don't wanna know how to do it," but because I've been out of my body for seizures and I don't like that feeling. But I know I know it can happen, and I remember when what was it, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, they had that time machine. I go, "Ooh, maybe in 2000, we'll have that same time machine that we can just go in and enter the hearing back or go forward," but I don't think now we're in 2024, I'll document this now. I don't want that. I wouldn't wanna go back in the world. You do with your readings, but I'd be kinda nervous too.
I think in a way, like we all have a kind of a time machine within all of us. We can
Yeah.
travel anywhere we want, and also we don't have to if we don't want to.
Yeah,
We control it, whatever we want. So
that is
yeah,
cool. Now, I got a question for you. People say, I remember my past life for some reason. And, I guess I've grown up in this world going, what are they talking about? Past life? How many lives do we have? And I was like, okay, you know what? There is a past life. And I think I read somewhere if you haven't achieved your goal in this life, you're actually coming back. And I was like, "I- is that true? Because I want to change professions all of a sudden. And I was like, did I achieve it this lifetime? But, I always wondered about that. And have you heard that before?
I learned actually that we are all very, very complex and different souls, and I want to say beings. I don't know why, but I don't. Actually learned not to make rules to say, oh, normally this happens or normally that happens. You are unique. And I know for myself, I've had so many lives, and it may sound unusual, crazy, I don't know, but a lot of lives, not only on planet Earth and not only as a human being. For example, I have been water, like this, I have incarnated
Hmm.
as water, for example. But that's me, and it's me because I see the soul as a desire, basically, as a ever creating itself desire. So it depends on your unique desire. If you have a desire for this, you'll have
Hmm.
that, And I know myself, I've had a lot of lifetimes. When I have work with clients, sometimes I see many, many, many lifetimes that are showing themselves to me almost like themes. Like, let's say they were discovering a theme of um, maybe breakup or something, or a theme of separation or disconnection and connection. Everything is two-way, actually. So I would see it like themes and lifetimes as themes, or I would see for one person only one life, that's very bright, but it does not mean that they've only had one life. It means right now the relevant thing to see and to know is that specific life. So everything is kind of step by step. It depends on your desire. The more you dive in, you're almost creating more because of your desire. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean you're imagining something that is not. But and also we do create with our imagination. But yeah, I just want to say, like, I can't give you a rule how many lifetimes we all live, because it's very different. And also, what is a lifetime? You could incarnate as not a physical being, for example. Is that a lifetime according to
Yeah.
what definition? What textbook and definition are we going to use? Those definitions melt down and those concepts melt down because we have so many options how to experience life uh, in a physical body or not in a physical body. So many options. And so everybody takes their own personal route, their own personal path. So that's why I can't give like a, normally we have 256 lives, I don't know.
Oh
No,
my
I
gosh,
can't,
that's too many lives to have. It's like, what number?
I
So
mean,
I'm
that's
just,
why I wouldn't say something like that as a like
yeah,
example. I wouldn't ever say, yeah.
that's good to know. I was just like, I want to throw something out there at you and see. So definitely. Have you ever, one more question, done like a healing practice on a session for somebody, but you were getting bad, bad news? And how would you tell that person? Ooh, that's a
Like
good
something
question.
bad is going to happen.
Yeah, like you get a sense or you see something that is just not good. Maybe it was like in the form of an animal or the food.
I normally don't get something like like, oh, something. Okay, I did get something like that, like if this person wasn't going to change their perception, or make life, make changes,
Mhm.
they were going to experience more pain and suffering in this life, and I saw that they were going into that. And I usually you I kind of hear messages through my guides how to phrase my words
Oh, yeah.
together with energy work to let them know what, like a guidance. But then
Mhm.
I do recognize that they do have their freedom of will, and I can't tell them do this or else, you know, because
Yeah.
it's their freedom of will, and it can be difficult. And then in those cases, you hear me beating around the bush a lot and getting nervous and getting like a nervous voice, and I'm like, and I sound like I'm on a broken record. Like sometimes yeah, I'm kind of nervous like that. Um, but I don't get like prophecies like, oh, this terrible thing's gonna happen. Because if it will happen, it will happen. We don't need to talk about it right now. Something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah. But I just get kind of, yeah, I do get kind of bad news. But then the way I share it is pretty much the way I'm talking to you right now. Like this.
No, that's how I get, when I talk on certain topics. I think it's funny because my daughter has told me before, "Oh, mom, I'm so proud of you. You did this topic and da 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 da." And I was like, "Yeah, I did." And you know what? I learned from it and it made me more open onto the topic, which was amazing. So, like, I don't have this fear anymore. And talking about fear is like even right now, being on TikTok has always been a fear. It's like, I don't know how to stream. I feel like my son tells me how to do stuff. Like, he's like, "Hey, mom, you can now go live on TikTok." I go, "Live? What's live? I'm already live on a podcast," you know? But he's like, "Just try it out." So that is what I'm doing today. I'm trying it out, and we have a lot of people. Like, I have that mom vibe going on. Like, I know they probably are asking, they can write, "Hey," and everything. I'm trying to see if they have any questions because I want to ask you some questions. You guys have any questions for her while I'm on? But I am going to kind of look at that and see what they say and check it back in a second or two. But you know what, Olga, this has been amazing. And I want you to know how blessed I feel that I met you in my life and you were here to share what you do because you're truly talented. And this is for me here in Texas, it's not something like I hear all the time, but I'm sure somebody does. I know where if I go do a meditation, if I mentioned what you did, they would be like, "Oh, really? Can we have her name and number?" I know that's how far it would go. So, but I am definitely going to share your information and your SD link so they can book sessions. You know what? I don't think they can leave questions on TikTok for some reason, but if they do have a question, I promise you, I'm gonna send it to you and we're gonna get it answered. And also what I really love on my website, they can leave a message and I can send those over to you and we can do a little question and answer segment too, which is nice. So, and then also I will have all this information posted on the website for them to go to as well. We just got a lot of people joining. Yay. So I'm
That's
excited
great.
about that. But I want to say thank you for coming on Keep Hope Alive. It means so much to me. So I'm glad we were able to share that. I don't know. if you got another reading on me again, like, yeah, I had too much coffee today, or, it's just,
Well, there can be pretty much limitless amounts of readings, and it's not only the Akashic Records readings, it's just actually me talking to your soul and your guides, and they show whatever is appropriate at that time
yeah,
that's relevant to your inquiry, request, what you're going through. So every time is different, and it's pretty much endless. Um, but yeah, having said that, I am super super grateful and blessed and thankful that I met you and I could do
yay,
this reading for you, because actually honestly it's like gold to my ears or honey to my heart when I hear that something made sense for someone else, because
yeah,
I don't know the person, let's say, right? I don't know the person, but I just get the stories, the images, the yeah, the movies, kind of like psychic movies,
mhm,
and then I tell it to the person who I've never seen before and I've never met before, right? And I'm honestly most of the time I'm a bit nervous, and I'm like, what if they just say, I have no idea what you're talking about, you crazy person?
No, 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 no.
No, but that's
You know
coming from my past current life. I mean, past experience in my current life where I have I have heard those words from my family, like, don't talk like that. You sound like a crazy person. Don't do it. Don't do it. So I'm still kind of scared. Oh, I've seen this images, I've seen these life lessons, but what if they don't relate, you know? But when you say that you
I
related
can
to it, it's like I get the healing I need because I needed to hear those words that yes,
yeah.
you know what you're talking about.
Look
And
at you,
it's
you're
it's
like,
been
"Oh."
happening a lot, and I'm still feeling like this. So I need those validations of, oh yeah, it connected, and then I go,
Yeah.
fantastic.
You're like, "Right on, I got this." Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're just, that's funny. I've always thought and been scared of people's opinions, and I mean, everybody has a right to be opinionated and voice it if they have a concern or whatever, but still, it's that validation of, am I doing the right thing? And it's funny because you hear it as a kid growing up with your parents and everything. But then when you get older, people try to tell you also what to do. And I'm just like, I shake my head. Nope, I make my decisions for me. I'm fine. I got
Yeah.
this. So, but definitely. Also, really quick, I wanted to thank our sponsors for Keep Hope Alive, who make Keep Hope Alive afloat. As I did mention before, we had lifeonrecord.com, your interactive guest book for any event. It makes it fun. You get the messages burned on a 12-inch vinyl record, or you can have it on that keepsake box. Snap bands, I see this green screen is working really well, and I can't get my bracelet. I'm gonna have to put a picture up there, but mine says Hope, snapbands.com. They are your nice little bracelet that will help reduce any stress, depression, anxiety in your life. You can find them. Um, they're spelled, let me spell it. I always have to spell this out. SNAPPVANDZ.com. Our next one is Ogden Ventures LLC. It got Marcus Ogden. He is a former NFL player, a podcaster, and an author, best-selling one. You can find more information at www.marcusogden.com, spelled MarquesOgden.com. Our next one is Bridal Shows Inc. Naomi has been doing bridal shows forever, and it's based in the Dallas Fort Worth area. But if you are planning a big event, want to meet the different vendors out there and maybe get appointments or book them right away, you can do this at her shows. I think she has like 5 or 6 out of the year, but her website will show everything. Our next one Bryce Harney at www.brycemagic.com. He is a mind mentalist and magician. He does corporate events and church events and does many, many shows. He is very fun to watch, very entertaining. I tell people go on YouTube and just type in Bryce Harney, and I put him on our Facebook too. So our next one is Miles and Smiles events.com. Miss Deborah Rose. She is a handwriting analysis and lipstick reader. She does many, many events. And this woman is right down to the punch. I told you to, Olga, I'm very stubborn. I just have a hard time kinda believing things, but when she met me and where I used to work, the staff, and got it right down to the point, I was like, "Whoa." And then we did an open house together, then we did an event, and now I'm like, I don't want to I actually attend an event. I wanna sit with her and watch her the whole time because everybody's like, "How'd you know that? How'd you know that?" And it's just amazing. So it's really fun to watch her in action. Our
Cool.
next one and final one is Mr. Richmond Punch. So it's richmondpunch.net. He graduated from the Juilliards. He is a violinist. I've known him for, I think, like over 30 years. He's performed in front of a million people before. I think he's been on 2 Lifetime shows, being the violinist in the background. But he is truly, truly talented. He's out on tour right now, having the time of his life. I know he is. So, but wherever you guys find your podcast, you can find Keep Hope Alive podcast.com. And I'm going to add this on the podcast. I don't need any extra services to spread the word. I myself, I get to spread the word and keeping hope alive here. So, but definitely, I want to thank you again. We're going to have everything listed. Come check us out on the website if you would like to be a guest speaker also or have an idea of a story. Just let us know. We want to hear it. And I promise, whatever messages you have, for Miss Olga, I will send her way. So until then, my favorite words, love and light. Bye bye, guys.
Love it. Thank you